How's it going, everyone? Mask here, back with some Eve Echoes, and today we're going to be looking at the Retriever and updating the best in slot Retriever build now that there's been some adjustments to Power Grid, and my previous suggested build no longer works and it no longer fits. But before we get started, I want to tell you about a 500 million Isk giveaway that I'm doing. It actually can get up to as big as a billion Isk. All you have to do is join my Discord at discord.gg/masktv. Head down to the Eve Echo section. This is a nice place where we can talk about fittings. There's a general Eve chat where if I have any insight on upcoming patch notes, I always give everyone a heads up on them. And of course, you hit the giveaways tab. All you have to do is react to the giveaway bot here, and you are entered. It is that simple. So don't miss out on your opportunity to take home up to 1 billion Isk. If 200 people enter in the giveaway, I'm going to be doubling the reward to 1 billion Isk. Anyhow, let's get down to business. We're looking at the Retriever today. I have 3 different Retriever builds to share with you. Really, for me, it's the 3 different playstyles that are currently viable in the game, and all of these have had to be slightly adjusted in order to work with the new Power Grid, and of course, the adjustment to group shield boosters, because they've been so strong, and now we can't quite rely on them so much. But I'm gonna be really honest with you, not much has changed. They're still extremely good, and with some tweaking, they're still the cornerstone of my build. So now that I figured out how to use the bar across the bottom of the YouTube video, you can see the breakdown of where the builds are. So if there's one of those play styles, so the 3 play styles are going to be solo miner in a system where you know you can get help. That's the first build we're going to look at. That's the one I have in front of me now. Second build is going to be solo miner built to be extremely slippery and escape because you don't ever expect to get help. But it's going to be your only option as a completely solo miner. How am I going to live and escape and not die, and I know help is not coming? Third option is going to be a group miner, someone who's always mining in a squad or a fleet, and you know help is available because you're in like a home system group squad miner. Let's start with our first build. This is going to be the solo miner in a system where you know help is able to come and back you up. A home system, a very popular, friendly system that if someone jumps you in the belt, you can yell for help in your alliance channel and someone is going to show up within a minute or so, maybe 2 minutes. This is built to be very tanky and just hold your own for long enough for help to show up. So we're gonna have 2 red adaptive shields, still your best in slot large shield extender, and all we've done is we've dropped the large group boosters down to 2 medium group boosters. This is simply the most extra HP you can get. A lot of people argue like you can put newts here, webs here. I just want to talk about what happens when someone ganks you in this situation. A smart pilot who knows how to play. All you have is 2 drones. You have no offensive pressure as a Retriever. If I'm ganking you, I'm in a fast ship. I get on you, I lock you down at max disrupt range or scram range, whatever it is that I'm using, and I kill your drones. Once your drones are dead, you are dead in the water, and there's nothing you can do about it, and they're not that hard to kill. If I'm an interceptor, if I'm a fast pilot who's jumped you, a bomber who's unstealthed and locked you down, I can kill your drones, and I can rep through whatever absolutely minuscule 70 DPS you can pump out. No matter how many drones you have, eventually you'll run into drones, and then I'm laughing. So you will not kill the person. If they're a smart pilot, you're not going to scare them off. There's just no reason why that's possible. You're not going to lock them down. There's no I've moved away from running points, scrams, all this kind of things on Retrievers because any actually decent pilot will not get locked down by that stuff. Woohoo! One thing I always like to say in these builds is you don't build to beat bad pilots. That's so counterintuitive. You're gonna beat bad pilots are gonna die because they were bad pilots, or they DC'd, or they're new and they're learning, which is fantastic. But I build to beat the best pilots in the best situation because they're the people who are going to be persistent enough who are going to come in. And maybe it's that same pilot that you killed a few times because they were learning and they've come back the 10th time and now they know what they're doing. So we don't run scrams, we don't run newts. We are not a threat to this ganker solo in any way. We put points on them. They activate their double, one of their dual prop. They're out of point range. They warp away, whatever, or they just hold you at the max. You're going to still die unless backup comes in this situation, no matter what. So I go two medium group shield boosters here, and we're actually maxing this power grid out at 970 to 970, and this is quite tanky. We can pull up the stats on it right here. This is the 2 red shields, large extender build. It's going to be swinging at about 46k effective HP, and we can expect to tank 1000 DPS for approximately 2.5 minutes, which is very, very... Actually, this is a full 3 minutes, my bad. 3 minutes, you might be really close to getting a third extension into, which can push you to like the 2.5 minute mark. You're going to survive most ganks if you can get back up there in 2.5 minutes. That is not bad at all. It's more like 1.8 minutes, right? So you're gonna get 2 extensions into 1000 DPS. You can see how it handles 1500 DPS, minute 30 seconds. That is, or sorry, 80 seconds. That's not bad at all. You really are tanky enough to stand your own until backup comes with this build. Little modification options, and it really does boil down to your style of play, how active you are, how much you're looking at the screen. There's an argument that you could swap out one of these medium boosters for points. At least if you put points on an enemy, it makes them think twice about sticking around. They're scared. There is an argument for the survivability of that. If they know they're in a high response, fast response rate system, and you're active and they get those points on you, let's just take a look at what that's going to do to the actual survivability rate. So if we come in here, we can wipe out the actual repping here. So we're going to go from holding 1000 DPS for 110 seconds. If we zero out the repping, we drop down to 99 seconds. So we're losing 10 seconds of survivability, but we could run points. We could run like point scram here. And if an enemy does get in range of you with point scram, the fear you can instill in them to back off because they know a response is coming, that has a lot of value. So you can sacrifice the 10 seconds of survivability. You could even run a long point and a scram, or actually... it's probably smarter to run a scram and a web, because that's really going to make them think twice about sticking around. If you're running a scram and a web, you're shutting down that micro warp drive, and that web is going to slow them down a lot too, making it easier for you to put more damage into them with your drones and just make them think twice about sticking around. And simply put, if they're scramming you, you can scram them. They have to stick around in that scram range, and then you can web them and really kind of... You're not going to keep up to them. The retriever's so slow, but it's gonna make them think twice. So a variation in the mids here, but this is my build out. And of course, rig wise, we're just running an anti-EM, anti-kinetic, anti-thermal. You could consider swapping because your boosters giving you so much base shields, you want to keep the triple resist in here. You'll see EM, thermal, kinetic on most of these builds. There's only one that I'm gonna swap it out. This is my solo miner in a home system where you know backup is at your disposal and on the way. If you want to play aggressively, you have the points here. If sometimes you group up with a few people in a squad, you can stack the advantages of the medium group shield boosters, and they are going to keep you alive, actually alive, for an extra 10 seconds at 1000 DPS. 1000 DPS is a nice little... comparison point. I think the new tier 9 bombers can pump out near 1000 DPS now, so you can really get jumped by even just one ship at a good 1000 DPS. This is the solo miner in a home system. Next, we're going to take a look at a solo slippery escape build. And bear with me here. It hurts my soul to even put this up on the screen, but I've thought about it a lot, and I do believe that this kind of fits a niche. This build still fits a niche worth mentioning, okay? And honestly, if you'd asked me this even just months ago, I would have laughed and I said, no, man, looking at aura stabs on a mining boat makes my eyes bleed. It makes me cry. I can't. But there's a niche. Triple aura warp core stabilizers, large newt, and a medium newt. Now, there's a whole thing happening with this build. You make one slight adjustment to the rigs because this is all about resisting getting alpha'd and slippery and getting the warp off and slipping out of and getting out. That's basically it. So you swap out the kinetic rig for a core defense field extender, 30% bonus shields, because this is going to up your actual base effective HP by about 2k, which every little bit matters at this point because we're just trying to survive long enough to get away. Now, this build is going to really be highlighted when I do a ganking simulator with it, which is something I definitely have planned very soon. I'm not going to fit it in this video. I know I said the same thing in my previous retriever video, but I think I'm in a better spot right now where hopefully I can get a little more consistent with content. But the biggest important thing here is offsetting the activation of your large newt and your medium. You're going to hit them with the large newt first, then you're going to wait. Your large newt activation time is 24 seconds. You want to wait about 6 seconds and then activate your medium. That way they'll never activate at the same time. They're always offsetting. And the reason you want to do this is you want to be hitting them on an interval with a newt as often as possible. It's going to help keep their cap bottomed out. And the goal with this build is you have right off the bat, you have a natural -7. So you're going to resist. It takes 2 scrams to hold you down. 1 scram and a long point is not enough. So right out the gate, if you're mining, you pre-align to an out point. Let's just umbrella this build again really quick. This is a solo miner in a solo system where the local numbers are very low. You mine kind of by yourself, off on your own. When someone enters system, you can very easily see it on local, and you don't have backup coming. So your only way of surviving here is warping off into a safe pocket and getting away from your attacker. So that's why the gank simulator on this is going to be very important. But you need to be pre-aligned to your exit point. If someone jumps you hit warp. If they have more points than your natural -7, don't panic and take a look at the number of points. Take a second, take a breath. You know you can get up to -13. So click on your buff bar, check your click on your buff bar, check your scram strength that you're being scrammed by. If it's less than 13, make sure you're pre-aligned. You're traveling at max speed. Hit the 3 aura warp stabs and just warp, and you're fine. You're just gonna get off. Right in here, you can see your debuffs. It'll tell you the amount of scram strength. It literally someone has to have 4 scrams on you to lock you down with this build. That's why it's so strong, actually being able to get away. You now have bonus when activated, -2. So it shows you the -4 on each one because they're currently active. If I highlight it, it's dropped to 2. 4, 8, 12, and the natural one from the retriever is 13. This is for a very, very attentive, you're watching the screen almost all the time kind of build. The reason I like to build my retriever so tanky, so reactive, is I personally find mining to be a very semi-AFK activity. But if that's not you, if you're very attentive, you have a maxed out retriever, and you're ready to get away, and you're solo and not mining in a home system, this is the kind of build for you. You're going to be able to offset the newts if for some magical reason they have more than 13 scram strength on you. That's why these medium newts come into play here. You offset your neutralizers, and there's no way they're going to keep 4 scrams on you hot with a large newt and a medium newt hitting them. And the retriever has such a good capacitor that we can keep these newts cranking for a good 2 straight minutes. Now, trust me, you're not going to survive for 2 minutes. So you have enough time to get about 2 to 3 activations of both of these neutralizers off. And you're pre-aligned, so you can see I'm pre-aligned or wherever it is I'm trying to get to. I think I have all objects in space off. No. So I'm trying to get to this Stargate here. I'm approaching the Stargate. I wait for my retriever to fully align with it. And then what I like to do is move my speed down to 1. puts it at 0%. It keeps my ship correcting that alignment, and then you really stop moving anywhere. And you can mine your entire retriever load right at 1. It says 0. The 1 just means I'm making an effort to keep this alignment improving. You can see it on the ship. It'll keep turning, and it'll be perfectly lined up. Now, when someone ganks you, all you got to do is click and hold and crank it to 100. Your retriever is going to now accelerate. It's already perfectly aligned, and you just hit warp. You hit warp, and boom, you're going to instantly warp if you were available. If not, you activate your triple auras. You're going to get out. And if not, still, make sure you check your scram strength. Before you ever click your auras, you need to check your scram strength, because if they're scramming you over 14, you click those 3 aura warp stabs and you don't get out, you're dead. But if they're scramming you over 14, you take a breath, you calm down, you hit them with the offset neutralizers, you're waiting for the newts to make 1 or 2 of their scrams go offline. You notice it, you have your buff bar open, you can see scram strengths now drop to 7. Great. Smash those aura stabs, you're out of there, and you're alive, and you're in your safe pocket. Now, the third and final build I'm going to show you is actually the one that I personally use, and this is very complementary to the first build I showed you. You're mining in a home system, a very popular system where you know backup is available to you. But this is going to be for people who actually mine in a fleet or a squad. So you can have up to 10 people in your squad, and the biggest hint about squads is, of course, your group shield boosters heal each other. So this build is going to use a 2 red adaptive shields, a medium shield extender, because the shield extender only helps yourself, and the thing that we're leveraging here is the group aspect. There are up to 10 of these exact builds in the same squad, and this is what we're leveraging. It's the group shield boosters. 458 boost amount times 10. You have 183 boost amount times 10. This build is actually literally game breaking. Now, I thought that this is the one I've been using for quite some time. I'm never mining unless I am in a full squad of 10 ships. Actually, I'm always in a full squad of 10 ships. And the stat that this throws off is unbelievable, and I'm going to break it down for you right now. Just how insane this build is if you can mine with friends. Keep in mind, the first build I showed you is better. You have more effective HP, and I'll show you that right now. This is we have 2 red shields and a large extender. We're surviving 1,000 DPS for about a minute. 1 to 2 minutes. If we go over and look at the same setup on the 2 red shields medium extender, you can see we've increased our actual hit points per second because we have a large group shield booster and a medium, but we're only surviving for about a minute. 1.5, 1.7. The numbers go down slightly. But where this build truly shines, and like the reason that we're copying is looking weird here is because we zeroed out our 183 twice. If we added that back in, we're going to see this is 109, 118. Come over here, we're looking at 93 and 103. So the medium, the actual medium, the medium extender with a large group booster and the medium group booster is going to survive it's not as tanky. It does less survivability than the large extender medium booster build for a solo pilot. But watch these numbers get blown into oblivion when I make an adjustment for flying these ships in a squad of 10. Literally game breaking. This is the only way I mine, and I literally laugh and taunt my attackers in local because it is a joke. This is actually almost an issue. This is so game breaking, and I'm finally going to share the update and how I kind of threw this together. 1,000 DPS were unkillable. Literally unkillable at 1,000 DPS. We are healing for 2,072 effective HP per second. So right away, that tells me I also have an extender. I should be able to pump this to 2,000. unkillable unless they're using pure EM damage, which is our biggest weakness. At 2,000 DPS, let's pump that to 3,000 DPS. We're surviving 3,000 DPS for a minute and 58 seconds. Now that's 2 extenders. That lines up about right. 3,000 DPS. What does it take to kill us in under a minute? Because I can get back up to come in a minute. It takes, actually, so under a minute, we're only going to get 1 shield extender. Keep that in mind. So that's kind of like a threshold where that's going to kind of pull back a little bit. It is about 3,000 DPS. That's a fully kitted battleship coming in, guns hot, and you're sitting there and you finish mining your belt for 30 seconds before you need to warp out because you're that tanky. This build literally breaks the game when you're mining in a squad of 10, and this is it. To recap one more time, we have 2 red adaptive shields, 1 medium shield extender. We're going to have a medium group booster and a large group booster. Plain and simple, game-breakingly tanky. I mean, you laugh your way at anyone. How many interceptors does it take to do 3,000 DPS? Actually, like 10. You could have 10 I've had 4 ships attacking a squad of miners that I'm flying with. And literally, I sometimes I'll be in local. Hey, is it okay if I just finish this load? And then they have me scrammed. Or they have me like, yeah, they have me scrammed so I can't warp away. And I'll just ask nicely, hey, do you mind if I just warp back to the station so I can empty? And we can like pick this back up. And it's a good time. This game-breaking squad mining build right here. That's my third build. This is you're mining in a home system. Keep in mind, they kill your drones, you're tanky, you're going to run out of fuel eventually. You will die. This requires somebody to be able to come and help you. It still does. You're just astronomically tanky. So there's so much time for someone to come save you. As much time as you have fuel in your inventory, I suppose. That's really what it breaks down to. Really how it breaks down. But that is the update to the current best in slot retriever builds in the meta. Thank you so much for watching this video. We have to keep in mind, I hope you use the bookmarks. I think they're not called bookmarks. It's new to YouTube in the past year, but I'm loving them. The markers you can put on the actual time bar below the video. Please let me know in the comments down below what these are called. I don't know why I'm losing it right now. Then hopefully you use them and you jump straight to exactly which build it was that you wanted. Or if you watched the whole thing, that's fantastic too. I really appreciate it. And because you could find yourself mining in multiple different scenarios similar to these, so you could want to be familiar with all the different builds. I suggest rigging it: anti-EM, anti-thermal, anti-kinetic. The little extra effective HP you get from swapping out the kinetic for the shield extender, the 30% boost to your actual base shields, is not really worth it. But if you rig the triple resist way, you can swap between these 3 retriever builds whenever you want. If you have the items in your actual hangar, you can just use fitting management. I can swap between these 3 fits with 1 click of my mouse now. And fitting swapping no longer kills your rigs, so it's actually a useful interface. So don't be afraid to use this menu. If I'm going solo, I'm running off to mine not an intumescent, but a compressed belt. That's when I need to be slippery. That's when this is going to be a really good time to be able to pop in and know that I'm kind of by myself. It's a remote location. If someone comes, I need to get away to a safe pocket. No one's coming to help me. Solo slippery escape build. I'm mining in my own system. I know there's none of my friends on right now. I'm going to be by myself, but I can call for help. Large extender, medium group boosters. I got all my friends on. I'm in a squad. There's 10 of us. We want to be unkillable gods. To the medium, large group booster, medium group booster, medium extender. Those are the 3 builds. Once again, make sure you come and join the Discord for a 500 million Isk giveaway. If over 200 people enter, it's going to be doubled to 1 billion Isk. So get in there and get a good chance at that free Isk. And join the conversation. Let me know any feedback you have on the fits. The best way to talk to me is in the Discord as well. There's a fittings section to talk. There's a general chat where you can just kind of say hello. I'd love to meet you. Come say hi. I'm in there almost all day. But hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks so much again for watching this video. Stay tuned for much more. The next thing I got in the back of my head on my plate is a ganking simulator where I'll be playing on 2 different accounts and really showing you how to stay calm, focus, and get away from the people trying to gank you in your mining ships. And this kind of works for any situation where you're getting ganked. The procedure will be the same, but I really want to show off why I've chosen parts of the builds I have. I explained in this video, but seeing it is a whole new thing. Looking at what buttons are being clicked when. So stay tuned for that. But until next time, smash that subscribe button, give the video a like, and share it with anyone else you think it's going to help. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it. But most of all, don't forget, stay classy.